Boy, I'm really good at this vlogging thing. So I have some tofu scramble that, as you can tell, there's only like a bite left. It's got some beans in there and some homemade like yolk kind of drizzled across it. Got some mashed avocado with some nutritional yeast and then just like half a English muffin. And I've got Marley here with me this morning, making everything just a touch awkward, but also really cute, right? Say hello. Bonjour. Okay, so just eating my breakfast and then off to work. All right, so I'm just packing up a couple of more orders that came in. So one of them was this Beatles Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts. That club band, that shirt sold for $15. So I'm going to send that out this morning. And then sold a couple more of the Sega Genesis games that I've got selling on commission for a friend of mine. So let me pull those. This was a pretty nice order. 3 of them going to the same person. All right, so the 3 games they got Tiny Toons Adventures, Buster's Hidden Treasures. This is a pretty cheap one. And then they got Battletoads, tough game, but man, this is fun. So I think that was around 60. And then the biggest one is Streets of Rage 3. And I think this was about 150. So altogether, with shipping and everything, I think for these 3 games, they're somewhere around 250. And yeah, so gonna send those out. Unfortunately, the October free shipping Tuesdays are over. It is Tuesday as I'm filming right now, and I've already used my codes for a couple of other things that had to go out. So I've got a stack of other items upstairs, but these I hadn't had pulled yet. So anyway, just thought I'd show those. Sorry if that's a little bit shaky. I'm just holding my phone. Forgot to bring my camera with me, but out of my run here, it is extremely warm out today. I don't know the exact temp, but I'm willing to bet that with the humidity, it's almost 80, or whatever that works out to be, like almost 25 Celsius. This is ridiculous for October 25th in Nova Scotia, Canada, but I'll take it. It is a little bit on the almost too warm side to be extremely comfortable, but there is a good breeze as well, so it's not that bad. But yeah, just out on my lunch break, I just dropped off those packages. I actually had another item sell while I was doing that. A nice like kind of pea coat, trench coat type thing, a woman's red, nice long jacket, and I paid $250 for it and just sold it for 30 plus shipping, so no complaints there. But all right, I'm gonna get back on my run here. All right, stopping for a second so I can show you guys the view of the water here. So as you can tell by the cloud cover and the fog bank that's rolled into this basin here, like normally you can see all the land over there, and even just on the other side here, that's only about 5K away. That's like another ridge. We're kind of in the valley between like the tail end of 2 little mountain ridges here, and you can normally see that, but it's very, very foggy due to the humidity here today. I'll take it, man. I don't understand, but not complaining at all. I also wanted to just give a super appreciative response shout out to Heather at Running Geek Girl. Man, I hope I got that right. But in any case, I'm gonna link her down below and everything. She just did kind of like a little video this morning of 5 running channels or 5 channels you should be watching. I was one of them, and not only was it, hey, here's John, go watch his videos. It was a very good, informative, and I believe very accurate description of, you know, what I'm doing, what my channel is, and I just really appreciate it. So, you know, I'm bad at it. I tend to just kind of forget to do, you know, shout outs and things like that, but you know, certainly, Heather, you are a very nice person. You can tell that. Some people, you're watching their videos and you think, oh, you know, this person's nice for the camera, but you know, I feel like Heather, you are a genuinely nice person. And of course, I don't know you in real life, but I'm pretty confident that that is your genuine self. So appreciate the shout out once again. And also kudos and shout out again to Chris, the plant-based runner. Man, we've been just going back and forth on our videos in the comments section this whole time, you know, this entire month so far. And I really appreciate that. I enjoy the engagement, enjoy the shared experience here of a run streak and vlogging every day in October. So awesome. Okay, well, again, I'm just on my lunch break, so I got to get back at it, but I'm going to take a little sip. Brought some water with me today, even though it's a short run, just due to the humidity. But shirtless in late October, not complaining. All right, the run is done, and I'm just about to heat up my soup here. I thought I'd give you a shot of that. Just a really nice, hearty, healthy, feel-good soup, you know, with some tofu and pasta and mixed veggies and stuff like that. And then before I wrap it up, I would just show you, it's like the buffalo chickpea stuff and just some mixed greens like mesclun and field greens and a generous squirt of sriracha. All right, so it is time to make my curry dish for my meals, which is basically going to be like my dinner for the next few days. The sun is really coming out here today again. It's like, feels like 26 degrees, which is absolutely nuts, but we'll get started. First of all, just want to give a shout out and a thanks, as always, to Jamie. She has prepped up some of the veggies and stuff ahead of time when she did a bunch of food prep yesterday. But first up for me right now is, my oven is preheated. First up for me right now is to chop up some potatoes. So what I like to do is I like to have potatoes oven roasted, and then I toss them in the whole you know, thing with like a curry paste and whatnot. But I like to have my potatoes on like a mix of greens and things like that, and then usually the chickpeas and veggies and tofu will go on either a bed of rice or a bed of something else, but in a different sauce. But since I am going to be doing the whole thing just on a bed of greens, I'm just going to make slightly different flavor palettes, but they'll all blend together nicely. But first up is to get these potatoes roasting in the oven. I like to do that first because then they get kind of nice and crispy, so that when I do throw them in like a sauce or something, they don't get all soggy. And I'm using these nice red potatoes. I've got a very nice purplish hue. And then I'll also be using coconut milk, a can of chickpeas, and some each of this red curry paste and yellow curry paste. And of course greens, a bunch of veggies chopped up in there, and there's a whole block of tofu that is already diced as well. So quick amendment to that last statement, and thanks to Jamie again for the reminder. We actually do have an open green curry paste, so I'm going to use that as opposed to the yellow. All right, so first things first, just going to saute the tofu to get it nice and browned, and then I'll be adding some of the other stuff to it. Also found a can of bamboo shoots, or actually Jamie mentioned it, so we're going to add that in as well. Should be pretty decent. And a whole can of chickpeas. And I do love coconut milk. Now the tofu has browned a little bit, I've just added everything else. Can of chickpeas, drained, but you know, it's okay if they have some liquid because that'll actually help them saute a bit. And there's some onion and green pepper and actually carrot in there, which maybe I normally wouldn't put in, but we had some to use, so it'll be just fine. And I'm also gonna add just some seasonings and spices now while it's doing this, before, you know, adding the paste and the coconut milk to make it, you know, like a full curry. All right, so I like to add a lot of turmeric to my food. Great for anti-inflammatory properties, also adds a nice flavor. And then I've also added a bunch of onion powder, garlic powder, and black pepper as well. Things are starting to come along with the veggies and tofu. So soon gonna add the curry paste and coconut milk to that, just to make that the sauce. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the potatoes in a separate pot I'll make a little paste and serve those on the side, I think. So the curry is just kind of, you know, sizzling away there. Just gonna let that simmer for a while. Just took the potatoes out of the oven, and I'm just going to put the rest of the can of coconut milk, maybe a quarter of a can, and some of the red curry paste, and I'm just gonna allow these to just basically be red curried red potatoes. Then I'll just have those on the side of this curry over greens. So I'll just show you everything once I've got it plated up and ready to eat. Really easy to make. Okay, and so here we are with the finished product. So yeah, just got the, you know, the green curried, well, main dish sort of, just on a bed of greens there. And when I heat this back up, I'll actually put the bed of greens and then, you know, stuff on it and just microwave the whole thing. So I don't mind if the greens wilt a little bit. And then my curried potatoes there. So again, oven roasting them until they start to brown a little bit, and then sort of just letting them simmer in a curry paste. I really enjoy that. So there we go. I mean, I might have been in the kitchen for about a half an hour total, but not half, but some of that was actually doing up all the dishes. So I have literally no dishes left to do except for the 2 containers these things were cooked in and the plate I'm using. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and eat this. Well, that was absolutely delicious. Just finished up, and yeah, I swear I could eat that kind of stuff every day. And you know, the good news is, so like I said, I was in the kitchen for maybe a half an hour, but some of that was washing dishes while, you know, things were just cooking. So sure, I saved a little bit of time not having to chop up all the veggies because Jamie did the food prep, but you know, let's say I'd even took the whole thing start to finish about a half an hour if I did have to do that, and then maybe all the dishes afterwards, we'll call it 45 minutes. I have enough left over now for another like 3 really hearty portions, probably even 4. So, you know, if I can, what's that average out? If I got 4 altogether and it took 45 minutes, that's like 11 minutes per. You know, so if you can get all your food, if you can get your meal cooked, prepared, dishes all cleaned up in 11 minutes, you're doing pretty good. So yeah, it was nice, and I'm looking forward to eating more. I almost grabbed a little bit more, but I don't want to overdo it. Like, the point is not to just keep eating because it tastes good. Like, I want to have some portion control, not really portion control, but I want to have a little bit of restraint. Like, I don't want to eat twice what I just did and then be like, why did I eat that much? I really didn't need that, and maybe be in discomfort or something, because I do have a habit of overeating when I find something I really like. Oh well, I mean, it is what it is. So just a little bit of discipline, but not in like a real restrictive kind of a way. Like, just, you know, capping things where they should be capped, basically. But yeah, all right, we're going to let this settle a little bit, and then Jamie and I are going to go for a walk, and not sure what the rest of the evening will entail, but we'll bring you along. So we went for a walk, but it was so dark and foggy out there, like super foggy, that didn't bother trying to film anything while we were out there. But we did, on our last little loop before heading home, we saw one of my dog walking clients who lives in the neighborhood, and that was pretty cool. I recognized her because, you know, she's a golden retriever. So I was like, well, I'm pretty sure that's Lulu. And I noticed her and was like, is that Lulu? And her human, I think, you know, took a minute to like recognize who it was. So I was like, it's John, by the way. She's like, oh, okay, hi. But yeah, so it was kind of cute. Got to see one of my little pup friends. But yeah, it is still so warm and just humid. And whew, that was a good little walk though. We did like 3K. Touch over 3K by the time we get right to the door, but that was nice. So I'll call it a night and a video right here. Thanks for following along today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little video clip of making the curry. I could eat more of it right now, but I'm not going to, because that would be gluttonous. But all right, we'll see you in tomorrow's video, guys. Peace.